Hello, we're live. SmackDown is on. Let's have an intro. Who's it going to be?
This is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. Well, hello and welcome to Give Me a Oh Yeah. I hope everyone there, right there in Yorkshire, is having a nice day. Bang, bang. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Thanks, Mick. I'm just going to start by saying I know Mick got some grief from a few people on Twitter a few weeks ago. And now, look, if you are on the wrong side of an argument to Mick Foley, or the other side of an argument to Mick Foley, you are probably on the wrong side because everyone thinks Mick Foley. I've never met anyone who's met Mick Foley who doesn't think he's the nicest guy in wrestling. So there we go. Anyway, welcome to Give Me a Oh Yeah. Welcome to SmackDown. That was a bit of a weird tangent at the start, wasn't it? I don't know. I can't handle seeing poor Mick Foley get any grief on Twitter. And I am going to continue to call it Twitter as well. Elon Musk, come at me. So Roman Reigns is here. This is a stacked episode of SmackDown, by the way. So we've got Logan Paul back tonight, whatever you may think of that guy. Roman Reigns is back tonight, whatever you may think of that guy. We had The Rock on Raw. We've got Kevin Owens. Did I just say Andrade? That's because Misfit has just said Andrade is not scheduled for SmackDown tonight. Why? Who said that? Andrade. Is that on our blurb or something? Hang on a minute. Where'd you get that from? Have one of us said that? Well, Kevin Owens versus what's he called? Santos Escobar. Did somebody call him Andrade? Was it me? That'd be brilliant. Okay, wait for Misfit to tell us where that came from. Oh, right. Oh, I see. So I thought when you said that you were correcting us, as in like one of us said Andrade instead of Santos Escobar, which would have been embarrassing, but no. I wasn't even aware as he's officially left AEW, if I'm being honest, Misfit. But I suppose it's where his wife works, WWE. You know, his running AEW hasn't been brilliant, has it? I don't know. To me, he does feel like a WWE guy, but that's just me. He's had some good stuff in AEW. He's had some good matches, but yeah, like I said, stacked episode tonight. KO's in the ring now. We are about to see not Andrade, Santos Escobar, who I think is awesome. We met him in London at Money in the Bank. What a lovely guy as well. It's a shame they've turned him heel. But whoever just liked us on Facebook, my watch just told me, thank you very much. I'm excited for tonight. First of all, again, it's New Year's Revolution. It's the first SmackDown of 2024. This is pretty awesome. And we're off a bit of a wild Raw as well. And see, I thought he had Legado del Fantasma with him for a minute, but no, it's Los Lotharios. And so I hope everybody had a nice holiday season whether it's Hanukkah or Christmas or none at all, or if you're like me and you don't celebrate any religion at all. But I'm not gonna lie, I still enjoy Christmas. I think Christmas is great fun. So whatever you did, even if you had a bit of time off work and saw your family, I hope you had a nice time. You can tell I'm tired. It's 1 a.m. I always whinge about being tired when I do this, but I don't mind. I have got a Aldi's own Red Thunder energy drink here, so thank you, Aldi, for your shameless rip-off of Red Bull there. But all I care about is the caffeine content, which is about what I'm about to have. There we go. Let's do it. Dakota, Friday Night SmackDown returns. Stone Cold Steve Austin, or Steve Cold Steve Austin, Steve Cold Stone Austin. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for liking the page as well. Misfit is talking. Hope you had a nice holiday season, Misfit. Gable Stevenson was part of the pre-show this evening, taking on Cedric Alexander. So I'd say we'd see that on main event. Or do they not display SmackDown shows on main event? Do they stick to the Raw stuff? I know they do change all the banners and the logos and stuff, don't they? So they could get away with it on SmackDown, but I've never seen a live SmackDown match on the pre-show that's made it onto main event, where I've seen it all the time on Raw. So, but anyway, although footage hasn't emerged yet, but there was a word he was being booed extremely loudly. Well, Gable Stevenson. First yawn of the night, probably the first of many. So why are they booing Stevenson? That's a bit weird. Is it just his booking has been a little bit stop-start on NXT, but is that his fault? The guy is like an Olympic hero for Team USA, isn't he? So, like, seems a bit weird, unless anyone has any information on that. Sam, hi there, Happy New Year. Can I get a vote? Yeah, you can. I'll do it now. I should have known. Hang on. But this should be good. Oh, this is weird. Legado del Fantasma attacking Los Lotharios. Well, the LWO. This is crazy. It's like his old crew are attacking his new crew. I'm having a drink. I need vast amounts of caffeine after this week. Right, SmackDown. Got to find my own show on YouTube. There it is. Right then, let's do a vote. What are you drinking tonight? We've just been through this, Sam. It's a Aldi's own. I don't know if you have Aldi, mate, where you are. It's are Aldi Polish? Any Brits, any Europeans in the chat who can tell me where Aldi are from? They're one of the biggest British supermarkets at the moment. They're like a bit like Publix, you know what I mean? That one you go to if you don't want to go to Walmart. So, right, let's have start poll. We've already got an ad break because it's WWE. Who wins? Andrade. No, did I? Oh my God, Misfit! Look what you've done. Santos versus KO. Start poll. There we go. Hassan, knock yourself out. It's there. And let's do a banner, shall we? A banner that I'll forget about and leave on for half an hour. KO. Santos. I'm not even writing Escobar. He could just be Santos for tonight. Boom. There it is. Just Google search his name and you'll find out why. Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'll do that later. I don't want to do that. Or shall I do it now just for fun? Go on then. Gable Stevenson. What we got? So I'm going to turn off this heater because I'm boiling already. There we go. So, news. I'm Googling him. I don't see out. That means anything in Northern English. Nope. Can't see anything. I might need you to tell me. Well, it wasn't on Google there. Charged with right. Well, we're not going to talk about that here because if there is an open investigation and we don't want to get into trouble, so we're going to allegation. Like we're not going to discuss any allegations about anybody here this evening. That won't be done. So there we go. That'll be the last we hear of that. So Nothingness Void says, "Hi Sam, in case you don't know me, I was Altered Ego pretending to be Seth Rollins for a while. I do believe, Nothingness Void, you pretended to be a lot more than Seth Rollins. I feel like we had one stream that was especially crazy. But yeah, I remember. Yeah, don't worry, Misfit. No, I get it. I'll read into that story tomorrow morning, but right now we're not going to discuss that because there are rules to running a podcast, so we're not gonna talk about that now. That's for sure. So yeah, what else tonight? We got Roman Reigns coming back. I feel like they really need to get more of Roman Reigns on TV now. They really need to start building to WrestleMania. Logan Paul's already back. Like, again, he gets a lot of eyes on the product. I know he's a controversial guy, and that's probably why they've made him a champion. I'm all for it. I hope he holds it all the way to Mania. But that's just me. Yeah, tonight's pretty stacked. Let's not even forget, we've got the main event. We've got a triple threat between Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles. The now jacked AJ Styles. But That's going to be a banger. That's going to be one of them matches I watch on here, talk all the way through, and then have to go back and watch tomorrow morning. And we don't talk about that, but yeah, I know your game. Interesting news on Julia. Right. So Julia, if people don't know, is one of Stardom's biggest, stars in Japan. But I'm not going to lie, this year, which from a work point of view, I've been more involved with wrestling than any other year of my life. Yet this has been the year I've just not paid a huge amount of attention to New Japan. It's all particularly Stardom. It's probably because I've just been so bloody busy. But Misfit, do you want to break what's going on with Julia? Because even I don't know. I'm sad to admit this is the first year in a very long time that not only have I not watched the G1, which I used to just watch religiously, I haven't watched Wrestle Kingdom this year because where I'm sure, and I've heard there was some awesome stuff, the card just didn't really do it for me. So I haven't bought the pay-per-view and I haven't sat down to watch it. I still might, but at this moment in time, my calendar's a bit full, and I don't know. So I'll come back to New Japan, I'm sure. But I think with New Japan, I need to have somebody that I'm really invested in to grab me. I don't watch it quite as casually as I do the big four Western promotions. This is the 13th time he's come back. Literally, more and more people are starting to not care who Roman Reigns. See, I think he now needs to stick around a little bit more in the build to Mania. Otherwise, no one's going to care about Mania. So they really need to start ramping that up. And what happened with The Rock? See, I'm the one person I know who didn't really like The Rock's promo on Raw. I thought it was by the numbers. I thought we had seen it before. I thought the whole foreign heel just running down America, and then either Cena or The Rock coming out. It wasn't for me. Like, the only part of it I enjoyed was him going, or should I sit at the head of the table? That was the only part I thought, And it worries me because I don't want that to get in the way of the two matches I want to main event WrestleMania, which are CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Neither of which are officially booked yet, but by all accounts, that's what's happening. And so, that's where I am. So I'm not so sure if, it's always fun to see The Rock. It's always nice to see him, but I don't know if it's a little bit, not too late, but I don't know if it's the same gravitas it once had. So I'm just not there yet. You know what I mean? I'm not hugely excited by the prospect of it, unless the rumours of it taking place in Australia are true, and The Rock versus Roman Reigns is the main event there. Some pay-per-view that happens to be before WrestleMania. Now, Elimination Chamber, is it? I believe. I could be wrong. Again, it's late. So if that's the case, then I'm all for it. Let's do it. But I don't want someone like Cody to be pushed out the way for The Rock, because as much as we all love Rocky, and we do, he's like famously one of the nicest guys in the world. Same with Cena. He's not the future. He's the past. So it is what it is. But it does seem to be a match that a lot of people have wanted to see for a long time. But I don't know if Mania is the place. That's just me. Me too, Misfit. Misfit saying, I've heard it's Elimination Chamber, and I hear the Australian government are making, at least their entertainment board are making big moves for that particular event. So that's awesome. If that's the case, I can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. And what I like even more is a pay-per-view in Australia will be aired at a reasonable time in the UK. Love that. So sorry, Misfit. Let me just catch up on what you were telling us about Julia. So she's disbanded her faction, confirmed she's not re-signing, and she's coming to WWE. Well, I'm actually kind of excited about that because I have seen her matches, but I'm not hugely au fait. So it would be nice to, see her on I don't want to say a more prominent stage, because New Japan is huge, but in the West, it's only people like us who watch it, isn't it? Where WWE has its casual audience, and that's either that or AEW is where she'd become a big star. Although I think for a lot of New Japan guys, I think AEW is sometimes a smarter choice than WWE because they have that relationship with New Japan and they can always keep one foot in there. Like Jay White, like, oh no, Jay White has a stipulation where he can't wrestle there. But you know what I mean? Like Omega or Osprey, they can always keep one foot in New Japan and have another foot in the West. So, like, I still desperately want to see Bryan Danielson in the G1 Climax. Like, Brian, do that before you retire, please, for the love of God, and keep your pirate look. It's ace. So Julia doesn't even have or want representatives contract. She's handling that herself. Oh, good for her. Although, seriously, lawyer up. So we can tell Misfit's a big fan. Learn more English. She doesn't want herself to be perceived as willing to learn the language. Yeah, well, let's be honest, that's happened before with some superstars, and it's it's not ended well, has it? But yeah, good for her on every camp. So Nothingness of the Void is saying, yeah, he needs to show up and lose the title. What? No, look, with Roman Reigns, if he's losing that championship anywhere, it has to be WrestleMania at this point. They're like, not only he has earned that, it has been a hell of a title reign. It has, not just because of the length of it, but how some of the stories he's been involved in. Like, I know there's an argument that Roman Reigns works the same match every time, and I do get that, and even I'm starting to feel that now. Like, our Dynamite host Anthony and I were debating this coming back from WrestleMania, and he was like, "Mate, it's just the same match I've seen before. I saw him do that match at Clash at the Castle, and I was like, yes, Anthony, but it's got a lot of psychology and it's a good match, and it is fun and it keeps the crowd involved. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be Okada Omega or Steamboat Flair. Say that one. You know what I mean. But I said I don't need it to be a 5-star classic. I need it to have some good storytelling and to get me up out my seat. Like, when we went to Clash at the Castle and we saw McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, I still think that was the best Roman Reigns match yet, because it really, like my wife, I kind of dragged my wife to Cardiff to see Clash at the Castle. She had a great time, she did, but I've never seen her get so involved. And she was up and down every near fall. She was like, oh, she was proper into it. And not just to please me, not just to humor me, but she was into it because she was into it. And that is the strength, I think, of a Roman Reigns match. In terms of the theatrics of it, it does pop the average fan, where the Okada and the Omega kind of match, where people like us will be blown away by that. I'm not so sure if I was to sit my father-in-law in front of that, he'd resonate with it the same way he might a Cody Rhodes match or a Roman Reigns match or even a John Cena match. So my point is, I don't really mind this Roman Reigns style match that we're getting. I'm happy to see a few more of them, but yes, Nothingness. It does need to come to an end eventually, and I think that needs to be this WrestleMania coming. I mean, bloody hell, if he retains after this Mania, I don't know what to do. I kind of see the sense in him retaining now after LA, and I was in the crowd, and like, ask Dom, we were all a little bit deflated, apart from Anthony, who was giggling his way all the way home. We were all a little bit deflated, but now, nearly a year later, I do see the sense in that booking, but at this point, it's starting to feel like that title reign is limping on until they do something about it. That's just me. So let's catch up some of these comments. We had a few. Daniel Wiley's in. Hello, Daniel. Sorry, we haven't done it for a while, mate. We haven't been here for a while. We had a week off last week because, again, I had some bad health, like in November, December. I'm all right now, but when you just can't bloody shake something, it keeps coming back and getting you. The more late nights and the more you burn the candle on both ends, the more it comes back for you. It was like that, really. So, but I'm all right now. But last week it was just because the holidays and SmackDown just had a best of show. which Dan and I thought, do we really want to stay up till 3 or 4 a.m. just to cover something we've already seen? So we thought we'd have a week off. I don't know if Anthony had a week off as well. I can't remember. Maybe he did. So Daniel's saying The Rock versus Roman should be at Mania. Well, see, I'm not so sure, mate, because I kind of want to see the end of this Cody Roman story. I really do. And let's be honest, The Rock ain't winning. No matter what happens there, The Rock isn't winning that match. They're not going to make The Rock put that title on him. The guy's going to be here for one more run, and then he's going to just come out and occasionally beat up a foreign heel. That is going to be. This is the final Rock run we're going to get, and it's. We need to think of the future, not the past. As nice as it'll be to do this with The Rock, and giving Roman Reigns as well a victory over The Rock will be, not that Roman needs any more, but pretty career defining. It'll be a big deal for Roman Reigns. Let's not forget, Roman Reigns' career doesn't end when he drops that title. He's probably going to go and have some time off. He's also probably got his health to consider as well. Let's not forget the guy's a cancer survivor several times over, which must be, really taking a toll on him. The guy deserves some time off, which is probably why he's having it now. But he will come back and they will turn him face again one day. So, and having that win over Reigns, over The Rock, will be pretty significant. I think so. Dale, hello Dale, saying, give me a haul, yeah. Give me a haul, yeah, even. Well, give him a haul, yeah. Julie will be headed to NXT. See, she'll be awesome on NXT. She's exactly the sort of person who would benefit, I think, from NXT. Got the raw materials already there, loads of experience, just needs that, and polish isn't even the right word, it just needs that adjustment to WWE's style. And let's be honest, they have a style and it's different from anybody else's. Not always better, but sometimes better, depending on the performer. Dale is saying, acknowledge me. Way ahead here. Acknowledge Dale. I just hope it isn't Cody and Roman at Mania. Oh, Daniel, mate, it is, I'm afraid. But let's just get it out of the way. You know what I mean? At this point, they need to just cough it up, don't they? But I'm excited for it. I don't think I'll be at this next Mania in Philly. I think Andy Spores is going to be there. But I don't think I will be at this point. I'll probably know sooner, but I don't know. I'm thinking if Andy's there, then we've got WrestleSphere represented, which is what matters to me. But and Gimme a Year represented as well. Oh, Roman Reigns is not Roman. Bloody hell! Logan Paul is on the mic. KO has won the match. Too bad, Daniel. Oh, yeah, I get it, Daniel. I do, mate. But it's you're not a big Cody guy, are you? Well, I know what you mean. The Rock versus Roman was at WrestleMania match 3 years ago. Oh yeah, 3 years ago. Oh, you mean like it should have been 3 years ago? I was going to say, I don't remember that. People are acting like shows like Chamber or Backlash are B level. Nick Carney. Yeah, I suppose so. Well, particularly, yeah, Chamber especially. I'm not so sure about Backlash. I think Backlash serves a purpose, doesn't it? I know what you mean, but Chamber, things like Money in the Bank and Chamber these days feel like much bigger deals than they used to, which is awesome because they're two of my faves. The Rock has come back at the wrong time. I know what you mean. I think it's the right time for him to have one final run, but Misfit's right. It probably should have been a few years ago for it to have had the same level, I think Damien could cash in on Roman at Mania so Cody doesn't get the title. Do you know what? That is a good prediction because even on Raw this week, they did the obligatory reminder that he's got it, didn't they? So, yeah, something's got to happen. Some people are saying they reckon it'll happen on WrestleMania Monday on the Raw. Because they need to do better with their post-Raw, Raw after Mania shows. I was at the last one with the boys, and looking back on it, I had a great time that night. I had a really, really fun time. It was a good Raw. But everybody hated that Raw. Everyone hated it, universally despised. And I actually think they salvaged the Brock Lesnar-Cody storyline in the end. I hated the start of it and majority of it, but I feel like they did stick the landing. We did get a good resolution. Without words, but we did get a good reason why Brock Lesnar did that. And it was the reason I was hoping they'd go with as well. You know, Brock was testing and molding Cody and punishing him somewhat for not completing the mission at Mania. So I kind of liked it. I think it worked for Brock. It's absolutely like Brock could have just said, unfriended him on Facebook or something. But yeah, all right, smack him with some ring stairs. That works too. It's not that Julie needs to learn how to wrestle. She's very good at pro wrestling. Oh, we know that. We're talking about the WWE style that some people benefit from. No one's disputing Julia's talent. Hence why she was signed by them in the first place. Damian Priest is never winning that title. Oh, never say never, Misfit. You and I have been wrong before. Give me a whole yeah. Thank you very much. Acknowledge us. CM Punk versus Roman at Mania. Not the time. Not the time. Punk's not... The story with Rollins, like you know me and some of my views on Punk in recent times and some of the stuff I've said, but I'm into this because it bleeds into real life. I think Roman versus Punk might be a bit forced. The Rollins versus Punk thing, there's actually genuine real life heat there. Obviously, they've probably squashed it backstage and they are working, absolutely working, but it's still... Money was on the table with that, and Triple H and Nick Khan seemed to be willing to do what AEW weren't willing to do, which is to turn a real life angle, well, a real life event issue into a genuine angle. And I'm really into the Punk Rollins thing. I really am. I can't wait to see them on the mic versus each other again. I don't want them to fight or go near each other physically until Mania. Let's just boil the frog, you know? Also, Elimination Chamber is being held in a 65,000 seat stadium exactly in Australia. And it's, let's be honest, they're going to do here like what they did in, is it the same venue as Super Showdown, Misfit? You remember when they did that in Australia? But it'll be the same kind of thing. They're going to do this as like a mini Mania, aren't they? Which is awesome. I hope he doesn't cash in on Seth, though. See, I think he's gone, mate. I think if Priest ever cashes in, it will be on the, I'm going to call it the big gold belt. I know it's technically not, but I call it that. It's going to be on the heavyweight championship because there's also some lingering beef with Finn Balor, where Priest and Balor are pretending to be best mates, where really each one would screw over the other at a moment's notice. So I think that will factor in. And let's be honest, Balor and Rollins have so much history. It's got to factor in. It's got to be some part of the story and the whole Judgment Day dynamic. This is my second energy drink of the evening. Hope it doesn't... I get told off by my wife for drinking too many of them. I only do it when I'm doing this or driving somewhere far. We need Brock back. I think he's coming back at the Rumble. I hope so. That'd be awesome. I love Brock Lesnar. I absolutely love when Lesnar's here, things have more gravitas. I've said for years I'd love to see. Do you know what we've never had? I know they've wrestled multiple times, but we've never had a proper match between Lesnar and Lashley. There's always been a screwy finish, or it's lasted 2 minutes, or something crap has happened. Let's just have a 15-minute brawl between them both without any BS. Becca Satomura's coach at NXT. Yes, she is indeed. People don't know who she is. She's a former WWE NXT UK Women's Champion. God, that's a mouthful. So Seth versus Punk at Mania, and Punk wins the title. See, I think that's where Priest might cash in. I think that's where Priest cashing in and doing a heist of the century on the guy who did the original heist of the century could be quite cool. And it'll have a heel to win. Because I think they're going to book Rollins and Punk both as baby faces. Because depending on which camp you're with, depending on who you want to win it, one of them's a babyface, but it looks like both of them kind of feel like it at the moment. If there's anyone more fitting to help Julia, it's Mika Satomura. Agreed. KO and Escobar having a great match. Pretends to be shocked. Well, yeah, they're both awesome. Super Showdown was in Melbourne, Cricket Ground, and Chamber is in the Optus Stadium. So, what city's that in? Do we know? I predicted that we don't see Brock at all in 2024. Oh, I hope not. Hope we do. How would everyone feel if it was a triple threat match between Cody, Reigns, and The Rock? No. No. I'm not. Nah. It would feel forced. It'd be too much of a distraction from the story they're trying to tell, I think. But Roman loses. Doesn't lose by getting pinned. Oh, he's going to in that one. Or submit. Sorry, Daniel. Roman has to lose the title in a singles match. Doing a cash-in is a cop-out. Yeah, I agree. And you've got to remember as well, you've got finish the story means two things. It means Cody completing that mission that he's on. And the minute he said those words, him winning that championship became inevitable. Because let's not forget, this is a soap opera. They're writing a story here. It's what they're doing. And they wouldn't have said that if it wasn't going to be eventually paid off, because that is how wrestling works. The bad guy eventually gets their comeuppance, and the person they're building up into the hero overcomes the villain. That is the very, very, very basics of how they do it. And that's what they're doing with Roman. They want Cody to be their next John Cena. Will they get into that level? I don't know. But that's what they want. And Cody has to win that title clean. You know what I mean? So that's what they're going to do. And also, there's the other story, which isn't anything to do with Cody, and that's the Bloodline story, which needs to, for the most part, end at WrestleMania. And I fantasy booked this a million times, and people like Misfit might be sick of hearing me say it. They probably are. But I envision the Bloodline, every member of the Bloodline eventually turning on Roman, Solo being the last person to turn on him, and Roman being on his own, head of the, a tribe without, a tribal chief without a tribe, head of a table, but there's nobody else at that table. It's, writes itself. I love the idea of Solo going, you know what? If you are who you say you are, you win clean. I ain't Samoan spiking him. Nah, you do it. But we need Roman to start. He's already doing this gaslighting thing to Solo. And on the last episode of SmackDown, the Christmas one, we kind of saw Gimme start to feel a bit, pushed out. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. But I do reckon that's the way it's going to go. Roman's on his own at Cody's mercy, It can't be Cody 2 years in a row. How is Cody going to get to Mania? CM Punk is going to win the Rumble. Well, we don't know how Cody's going to get to Mania. They could do the Elimination Chamber, or there's several routes they could take, but it can be Cody versus Roman 2 years in a row. That is, well, for starters, that is what we are hearing. They have got planned for Mania, and they've had it planned for a year since Cody returned to the company. They've had all this mapped out. Right now, that is internally what WWE are planning. Like, even we've heard that from people. Again, can't say who, but we have heard that. And they've done people the same time twice at Mania a few times. The Rock, Stone Cold, Cena, The Rock. They have, Undertaker, Triple H, Undertaker, Michaels. They've done these things multiple times. Wrestling is built on rematches, and stories are not one and done. That's what AEW would do well to learn. That sometimes it's okay to either. Well, AEW know how to do a series, but sometimes they give us a one and done, and it's like, dude, come on, let it breathe. But yeah, Cody getting his rematch at WrestleMania you've got to think with wrestling outside of what you want and what makes dramatic sense, because it is. Don't ever forget that it's a soap opera. Don't ever forget that it's being written with a story in mind. It isn't just random matches being thrown together. There's always sometimes doesn't come off, but there's always a wider purpose, a wider story being told, something they're trying to do. And you've got to think about what's going to make the company the most money and whose shoulders are going to carry what going forward. A 3-year reign, losing because of a cash-in, very Vince McMahon. Triple H is trying to get away from that kind of booking. Yeah, and to be fair, I think even with Vince in control, they wouldn't do that at this point. I think he would understand, which isn't much these days. Cody's going to win the Chamber. That's how he gets to Mania. I agree. Yeah, I think Elimination Chamber is going to be... Because traditionally, the Elimination Chamber is a route to WrestleMania, isn't it? They've stopped doing that in recent years, and with that Austin Theory silliness. But yeah, I think Misfit's right. I think that's the route they're taking. Cody wins the Chamber. Cody looks strong. Punk wins the Rumble. Punk looks strong. That's how they're going to do it. But even then, there are other routes. It's been done before. Gimme versus Jay versus Solo at Mania. See, I don't think Solo's going to wrestle at Mania. I think he's going to be Roman Reigns' bodyguard, and that his role will be something to do with that match with Cody. But Gimme versus Jay, that's got to happen at some point, hasn't it? Like, they've got to find their way back together at some point. So I don't know if they do that earlier, but it does feel like it'd be a good Mania match. They have to. The resolution of any match they have needs to be them coming back together and reuniting, squashing the beef, essentially. The good news is Io and Mia Yim are set to a lot of time of 2 segments. Sounds good to me. Both those two are impervious to a bad match. Oh no! And here we go. It's Karrion Kross to tell us some spooky stuff and then lose. Looks $1 million, and so does his missus. Paul Ellering. Authors of Pain are here. They must be. Yes! See, I knew they were coming back. I didn't want to say anything. Misfit, you probably knew as well. But Authors of Pain are back. AOP. Yes! Dom and I were talking about it before. We were quite excited. Cody has to be desperate to get Roman. He'll literally do anything. Yeah, agree. It's got to get to that point where it becomes all-consuming. WWE could change their mind and have Roman beat Cody. They certainly could, but I think that I don't see it. I just don't see it. Cody is going to be WWE champion at some point, and I think WrestleMania is when they do it. Hi, Taylor. He says, good evening, Sam. Asuka got a match with Bianca via Elimination Chamber. Yes, she did. With the men, though, they didn't do it with the men last year, did they? They did it for the United States Championship, which it sucks me to say, but felt a bit lame. Great match, though. Enjoyed the match. They could face off at the Rumble, and Jay could eliminate Jimmy. See, yeah, love that. That could work out. In fact, I think they have to meet at the Rumble, the Usos. They have to. Otherwise, it's a wasted opportunity. There's also every possibility that they're both in Elimination Chamber together as well. That'd be cool. That could give them one final push for a singles match at Mania, couldn't it? That'd be ace. See, I'm game for both of those ideas. Authors of Pain returned with Paul Ellering. Yeah. Like, I know it was spoiled, but even so. Now that is a cool stable, and I actually think that it makes Karrion Kross the guy as well, doesn't it? That's a great stable right there. I'm into it. Why does it say KO versus Santos? Oh, yeah, I told you I was going to forget about that banner. Because I had a banner up for the opening match, Daniel, and forgot to take it down, as I usually do. Okay. Well, we all did. Come off it. Great to see them finally have their return. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's this. Gimme beating up AJ. I hope Triple H's plans for Cross in 2024. Well, you'd hope so, wouldn't you now? Super Collider stays. Eh? Give me Usos versus the Rhodes brothers. The problem is, if Dustin Rhodes came back to WWE, they'd stick him with the. And look, I'm not against Goldust. I've enjoyed Goldust over the years, but I mean, come on. Do we really want to see Goldust again now? After I don't know. Oh, the crowd did not react to AOP. Do you reckon some of the casuals have forgotten who they are? You know what I mean? Usos versus the Hardy Boys. Again, are we going to see the Hardy Boys back in WWE? Like, you've got to think they're Hall of Fame bound at some point, surely. Crowd arguably did not care, which is a shame. Yeah, well, let's give them time. See, I think the crowd might have forgotten who they are. People like us know, but I feel like it's been a while, hasn't it, you know? And they haven't gone to somewhere like TNA or AEW or New Japan. They've been on the indies. Yeah, they were hot for KO and Santos. Well, to be fair, I think they'd be hot for KO and Santos anywhere. But yeah, KO in Canada always got to be a, he's always a huge baby face. Same with Sammy. They're always huge baby faces, aren't they? Let's be honest. Even when, what's he called? Bret Hart was a heel. He was a baby face in Canada. Always. Even when he tried not to be. I wonder who's Butcher's tag team partner tonight. Yeah, me too. Oh, there's Mia Yim. This will be good. Still with Bullet Club Light. I like her bandana. Then maybe we had a conversation with AEW for WrestleSphere earlier this week. So there may be some exciting things coming our way with that, but we'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. So that's just a little tease for you to keep your eyes on WrestleSphere in the next few weeks. You know, WWE have been quite generous so far, but let's see where it goes. It's nice that they are thinking of us as well these days when opportunities come along, because you know TNA do and AEW do so. But WWE have been great, so we're looking forward to it. See what happens. Some interviews, more than likely. Who is the AOP? Oh, Daniel, and the Authors of Pain. Paul Ellering was their manager back in the day in NXT, and they were the tag team that caused the rift between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So it's nice. They got released back when WWE were releasing everybody. So it's cool to see them back because they had a lot of potential. Just two big, scary, burly guys, really, is the gimmick. So, but under Vince, he didn't really know what to do with them. I think Triple H will book them a lot better. It's about bloody time that they came back. I'm excited. I love the idea of Cross as the leader of the stable. You know, he's got Scarlett there. He's got these two bruisers with him. And with Ellering as the manager. Awesome. They used to be, actually, Daniel. They were Seth Rollins' toadies for a little while. I can't remember if they turned on him or if it just petered out. But he set them on Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe turned face while on the commentary booth, kind of defending Michael Cole from AOP, and he kind of stood up and fought valiantly, but got annihilated by them. It was really good, actually. I was really into that. You know, babyface Samoa Joe in WWE was really something I wanted to see. But now we have heel Samoa Joe in AEW, which is just as good. Has to be Tyler Bate for Butch's tag team partner. Makes sense. I can't believe the show's nearly been on an hour. He can tell you if you want, Taylor. He can tell you. So can Google as well if you know where to look. Yeah, we'll do it in a second to Sal. Let me just get back to it. Right, remember, guys, the whole runtime, pretty much everything that's going to happen in these shows generally leaks. Sean Ross Sapp usually. See, I don't like to look. Something like AOP has been known about for weeks. It's been a while. It's been on the cards for a little while, and even WWE have communicated it themselves with press releases. But those things have embargoes on them, so sometimes you can't say anything. Even once it's leaked, you sometimes can't say anything. But there are rules to press releases. Some of them are annoying, but anyway, what are you gonna do? Also, please make the Pete Dunne Resurgence tour. Yeah, that'd be game. A little bit of strong style on the Brit side of things. British strong style, if you will. Which is a reference to a very popular British stable, ladies and gentlemen. Is the Royal Rumble coming up on January 27th? It's coming up soon. I don't know the exact date. Got it written down, of course. But yeah, it's coming. Bring back Trent Seven. He signed with TNA, didn't he, at the Final Resolution event? So I don't think we're going to be seeing him in WWE for a while soon. He'll be with TNA for a while, I would have thought. Yeah, he signed with TNA. Yeah. I know what you mean, Taylor. I know us in the UK, we're used to seeing British Strong Style as a trio, aren't we? In Progress, like Progress is where the three of them became such a big deal, feuding with Jimmy Havoc and his cronies remember him back in the day. But yeah, I've got a question about what we're seeing on screen, actually, just to tangentialize. So they were hiding in the Christmas presents. What if nobody ever went near the Christmas presents? What they would have done? Suffocated to death. Wrestling daft sometimes, isn't it? I'm just putting on my slippers because my feet are cold. Yes, there we go. That's the date. It's a coming. I'm just pleased that I won't be going to Centre Parks when the Rumble is on, because for years, every time the Royal Rumble is on, I'm in Centre Parks, which is nice enough, but it means I either need to go and spend 3 hours or 4 hours watching wrestling away from everybody else, or I have to kind of put it on and subject them to it. And they're just like, the people, apart from my wife doesn't mind, but all the other people we go with they don't understand why I do that, because they're not wrestling fans. So it makes it a bit awkward, really. There was one year we went there and the Rumble had just happened. So I watched it at like 6 a.m. before we set off, and that was just unpleasant. So that was the one where Brock was just throwing them out one by one. And betrayed Shelton Benjamin. It was yeah. So now I'm glad we go away a different week now. Not just so I can watch the Rumble, but because it works for everybody else's schedule. Because we do that every year. And I became a massive Dunn fan. How Regal and Triple H presented him in Blackpool. Yeah, me too. Would you believe, Taylor, as well? I live like 15 minutes away from Blackpool. I could be there in 15 minutes. So, and each of those Blackpool shows, for whatever reason, I was never able to get a ticket. Like these days, I'd probably be sent one by WWE's PR team because of WrestleSphere. But back then there was no WrestleSphere, so that wouldn't have happened. But these days we could have probably applied for a press pass. But back then it was a case. I think my wife was at work and I was at work, and I think I said to my mum, can you buy me a ticket for this show, right? And I'll pay you back later on. I basically need somebody to be in the queue for me to get it. And she's like, yeah, okay. And she didn't do it in the queue. And she goes, "Oh, I was just going to do it later." I was like, "Oh, Mum, they would have sold out in 15 minutes. We're good." And they had, of course. So what are you going to do? But bless her, she didn't understand. She'd know now, though. She'd know now. Mia Yim has a banger of a ladder match with Io Sky in NXT. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she did. And I've got to do that. Poll, haven't I? Do the poll. KO won the last one by 87%, by the way. So here we go. So who wins? Io Sky. Mia Yim. Or Michin, or whatever they're calling her this week. We'll do the banner for me to forget about as well. Io Sky. Boom. Okay, comments. I vote for Mia Yim. It's there now, mate. And we have an ad break. Gives me time to catch up with the comments. I love the amount of production that is seemingly happening throughout the show tonight. Graphics, decent VTs, lasers. Yeah, it's almost as if they got rid of Kevin Dunn and things were allowed to progress. Well, he got rid of himself, didn't he? He left. Big time now. So I'm not quite, mate. I still, not quite. But through WrestleSphere, we have we've done quite well, and we are now recognised as one of the British organisations that they will reach out to with all the others. So we are on their radar, which is nice. Not exactly. I wouldn't say big time by any stretch of the imagination, but if something's happening in the UK, they tell us, and they generally give us let us come to their PR events and stuff like at Money in the Bank. We kind of cemented it there. And then same again at All In. So we picked a very good year to launch a wrestling website. That's for sure. It happened to be the year that all the promotions came over. Put the heater back on because I'm freezing. I was going to be in the ring by herself. Mia looks somewhat ring rusty. Well, she's expecting Io to move a bit more than she is. I don't know. Triple H, I hope, is about to show people she can win matches by herself. Yeah, that's important. Well, she's a heel, isn't she, though? And the question is, are they going to do that? Because she's still a heel. She's a heel champion. And heel champion, they don't have to cheat to win, but they generally do. I think Bayley will get involved, personally, but that'll annoy Io some way, for some reason. That's what I think is going to happen. Just me. Opening moments of the match, Mia was just stood in the middle. I think they're calling this match live. Oh! I'm not sure. I just realised I've got no Michael or Sassy tonight. Or Todd. Normar was with us earlier, wasn't he? I didn't imagine that. An itchy head, so I'm doing all that. Because I insist on wearing this hat. It's my gimmick now. I can't get out of it even if I wanted to. Mia's top broke off, so they had to adjust it at the start. Oh yeah, they didn't want a wardrobe malfunction. See, I didn't notice. I was too busy doing this. Yeah, this is interesting. Because obviously the heel wins this match. Just the question is how. Because I do kind of this is one of the most interesting stories in WWE at the moment, in my opinion. The whole, since Io won that title, let's be honest, she's been the de facto leader of Damage Control, and Bayley just hasn't realised, and it's almost as if since they've recreated the or what I'm calling the Kabuki Sky Pirates. Bailey's now the tag along and not the leader. Like even Dakota is like their mouthpiece, their translator almost. Because she's out on injury, it gives her unless she's back from injury, I'm not sure. But it gives her a good role, doesn't it? Injured or not, it gives her something to do in that stable where Bailey is surplus to requirements, and that's the story. And I'm kind of liking it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Kabuki Sky Pirates. Yeah, Kabuki Warriors and Sky Pirates. We've never had the three of them together in WWE before, so WWE aren't going with it. They did go with Kabuki Warriors the other day, didn't they, though? Was it last week, the week before? So what they need to do is go with Kabuki Sky Pirates. That'll make me happy. Speaking of Josie Wrestling, want to hear something funny I found out today about Triple H? Go for it. And observing stuff is here. Observing stuff. What's up? And I missed the first part. I guess KO beat Logan. He wrestled. What's he called? Santos Escobar. We had some confusion with him not being Andrade, but you have to be there. But yeah, I think Logan Paul got smacked in the mouth or ran his mouth and got smacked. I don't know. And Katriana's back. Hello, nice. It's been a while. We haven't seen your old rival for a while either, so the coast is clear. More the opposite way around. KO punched Logan with his cast. There you go. Triple H has a subscription to Wrestle Universe, and on his time off, he's watching Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. I don't blame him. I think Triple H is an absolute. You'd need to be a massive mark, wouldn't you, in order to run it as successfully as Triple H does. So don't doubt it at all. Started watching WWE around the time AOP left, so I'm not familiar with them. I'd stopped watching for about 7 years. So that's weird, isn't it? I did think. I wonder if just some people just don't know who they are because it's been a while and they never made a massive impression on the main roster. They were really cool on NXT, former NXT champions. But, on the main roster, they were Seth Rollins, Toadies, and not much else. And DDT Pro. Well, I don't blame him there. Katriana saying, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. 2024. I can't believe it. That's just bloody mad. And I'm 36. What's going on? Anyway, so from 2012, the middle of 2019, I stopped watching, so I have no idea who some people are. See, I kind of was into wrestling from being a teenager. Like being, I think, 12 onwards. And then around about 16... I discovered beer and girls, and wrestling took a back seat, shall we say. And I only got really back into it. Like, don't get me wrong, I always watch WrestleMania and stuff like that. But it's only when I kind of became a proper adult did I kind of start getting back into it. When in a committed relationship, living with somebody, all of that. And I think now at 36, I'm more into it than I've ever been in my entire life. I went to the last WrestleMania. Some of my best mates are into it as well. So, I'm on a podcast. My job, one of my jobs is running a wrestling website with Dom and Andy. So, Mia Yim. So it's, weird how things change. But I know what you mean. I also took some time off it. I can't tell you the exact moment. There was a few things that CM Punk leaving, Bryan Danielson retiring, Sting getting injured. A bunch of things happened almost in quick succession. That kind of Undertaker's streak going. A bunch of things happened in quick succession that kind of soured me for a year or so. But I soon came back around. Just the thought of him watching Maki Ito matches and his time off pops me. See, I don't see the big deal with Maki Ito. I like maybe if I watched more Japanese wrestling, I would. Did Io win clean? I didn't see. Yeah, with Maki Ito, like, and when I ever said to people, I don't see the big deal with Maki Ito, all they ever had to say was, "Oh, but she's cute." So what? That's who cares? Like, that's not enough for me. Sorry, like, oh, she's cute. What? And like that's enough of a reason. Anyway, so I'm yet to be won over by Maki Ito, and I muted her on Twitter as well when I saw something about her saying I am the Empress of shit or whatever it was. But anyway, that's just me. I'm sure she's excellent at what she does wherever she is, but at this moment in time, not my cup of tea. Although Io Sky, however, is superb. Who else have we got here? 2024, baby, eat some ice cream. I've eaten enough of that in the past few weeks. Observista says I turned 30 this year. I'm fine with that. Just scared of 40. Mate, you're away off 40. It's me who's knocking on its door. Mia Yim was about to hit a pile driver. Ooh, not allowed them. Interesting, they called Styles Clash. Is AJ passing the move on now? I think it's just a Bullet Club light thing. What do they call them? The OC, I think there was a Jay White match a while ago. It was a wee while ago where he did, I think he did a coup de grace, a Styles Clash, and he attempted a one-wing angel. And it was almost like he was doing a tribute to all the former Bullet Club leaders. I can't remember who it was against and when it was, but I thought it was pretty cool. It's the sort of thing only marks like us would notice, but I remember it's like telling Jess, "Oh, look what you just did," and she's like, "That's nice." Okay. Yeah, I was around 18, started college, working job, hung out with my friends every day, so it was never at home. Yeah, I know what you mean. I was 70, but yeah. Styles Clash. My rejuvenation point was seeing AJ Styles come to WWE. Yeah, that was quite a moment. You should have seen my reaction to that. It was a little bit like my reaction to Sting's Metallica theme coming back at All In. If you haven't seen that video of me reacting to that, don't. Because I'm still embarrassed by it. Royal Rumble, and I found the concept cool. Oh, the Royal Rumble is just the best pay-per-view ever. I just bloody love it every year. I never want to hear Io Sky never wins her matches clean ever again. Well, yeah, I'm kind of glad they did. Like, are they going to... I don't see them turning a face, though, because surely the story is they beat up Bayley and they kind of bully her, and then she sees the light and becomes a face. Like Sami Zayn style. She gets bullied and pushed out, and then sees the light. So that's what I'm thinking they're doing here. I could be wrong. I know you, Misfit, are desperate for her to be a babyface in WWE, but I don't think you're getting that wish for a while. Yes, boy. Here we go. My countrymen are here. Now, as a creative, now watch for the storyline, storytelling, creative aspects. Well, I was thinking about this the other day, and as much as I love great matches, and I do, I think the draw for me is a good story. I think about the thing that's entertained me in wrestling more than anything in recent years, and it was the Sami Zayn story. Especially when it came to a head with him hitting Roman with a chair. Like, I think I was watching on stream here when it happened, and I was absolutely... Oh, no, was I, or was it a pay-per-view I didn't do? I can't remember. But either way, I was absolutely blown away by it. It was just insane, and still to this point, I still feel like they peaked with that. And I don't think WWE has been able to recapture that. I think once that story died, and once they won the tag team titles, I was like, oh, yeah, but now what? I'm just going to say it. I think it was a bit of a boring title reign. The chase was way better than the happy ending. Let's catch up with some of these. Did you know that boy John Moxley is deadly? I did. He bleeds a lot, a little bit too much for my liking. I can't wait to see The Rock destroy Roman in a promo. Yeah, now that is going to be entertaining. Like, we were discussing The Rock before observing and what we think he's going to do, what he should do, what he shouldn't do. And for me, that's the draw there, is seeing that promo battle. I'm not that bothered about a match. I'll take it. You know, the one in Australia that they're planning, I'm game for that. I'm up for it. As well, I'm not as up for it at WrestleMania, but I don't think it's going to be at WrestleMania, especially when we know what we know. But yeah, any promos between them both are going to be great. But The Rock can't just keep doing his same shtick, the thing that he's done twice now. Or is it twice? Maybe more. Where he's just kind of come out, got the crowd to do that. It's like, yeah, I've seen that now. Let's have something meaningful. You know, I wasn't a fan of his appearance on Raw the other night, which sucks because I'm a huge fan of his. I just thought it was Jinder's promo went on too long, and like when heels run down the sports teams or when they're doing the foreign heel gimmick, it's so played out and boring. Think of something else to do. Really, you know, I mean, there's a million things Jinder Mahal could get heat by. You know, I don't know. It's not for me when they do that. Absolute cinema. I talk about the Sami Zayn thing, I imagine. Pretty deadly, more like pretty zesty. I think they're pretty both. House guys incapable of having bad matches. Can't argue with that. I'm either on board of Judgment Day. I'm not as much as R-Truth is making me laugh at the moment. I feel like injecting too much comedy into Judgment Day might kill the threat of them. That's just me. Seth has more title matches than Roman. Yeah, agreed. Which is why he's got to drop it sooner rather than later, doesn't he? Mania, come on. I prefer having New Day, DIY, Usos on the chase. Yeah. I think maybe the best people told the title to be AOP, Profits possibly. See, I'm game for a Profits AOP feud. Like, so hang on, is Lashley and the Profits, are they now baby faces? Wasn't the whole point of the Profits joining Lashley was that it was their big heel turn? I don't know. Hey, so good to have CM Punk is back. Yeah, the Seth Rollins thing is fire. I can't argue with that. Oh, here's the Kabuki Sky Pirates damage control. This Kabuki Sky damage pirates. Oh, Bianca Belair. I'm still bored of you. I've still not forgiven Bianca Belair to winning at WrestleMania against Asuka. I've still not forgiven her for that. If you're start having bad matches, though, Sky, it's on you. Will you flipping? I think you have a crush, young man. I think Roman is going to do the scared look when he faces The Rock. Lucky Roman Reigns is the master of facial expressions. Like the way he does that thing with his lip. He does that when he's annoyed. It's great. Oh, my internet's gone off. What's going on? Either that or SmackDown's having a moment. I think the Rock segment went on way too long. Yeah, it did. And I'm like, if that happens again, I can't believe I'm saying this, I might fast forward it because Jinder even went on too long. He should have just come out. Look, I get they've got the crowd there and they've got to. But the whole Death to America gimmick because someone's foreign. What? Like, even when AEW did it, AEW made that match, Cody versus Anthony Ogogo, the UK versus America. And like, do you know what's really, really weird? Is before that happened, Cody was the babyface. So everybody in the UK was cheering for Cody. We didn't give two craps that Anthony Ogogo was born on the same island we were. We were cheering Cody because he was the star. He was the good guy. And then all of a sudden, Cody alienates the audience and tells us, for some reason, this is now a do-over of the American Revolutionary War. And we're like, wait, what? Bro, it was 200 years ago. We're over it. You know what I mean? And in that particular, I don't admit this often, about my country, but in that particular arena, I think we were in the wrong. I think that was the way it should have happened. Glad it did. But so to what are they doing? That was one of the worst feuds in all of AEW. But anyway, yes, my point is I don't like the whole they're from somewhere else, they must be the bad guy thing. It's sure. Pete Dunne is from the UK. He's not coming out going, down with America. Nah. He works there. He lives there. It's stupid. Oh, and here's Tyler Bate, by the way, if anybody didn't know yet. Yeah, I think the profits are cheered now as to the faces. Good. The damaged Kabuki Sky Pirates. Boom. That's what we're going with. Imagine CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. You're not going to need to imagine it for long, Catriona. You're not going to need to imagine it for long. Come April, you'll be able to see it, I reckon. And I hope they dangle that carrot in front of us like crazy between now and then. Can we see some more pro? Also, by the way, CM Punk, where is he? He joined with SmackDown. We haven't seen it. I know he's turning up next week, but please don't make this a Roman Reigns situation. I get he's not going to turn up every week, but come on. Go away. See, I'm not alone, am I? Look, don't get me wrong. I think Bianca Belair is amazing. I do. I think she's absolutely phenomenal. But I got so bored of her title reign. For the love of God, turn her heel. I don't think Jinder got that much heat. See, I thought the crowd was pretty vicious towards him. But I'm not going to lie. When he was talking about them being divided and stuff like that, I remember thinking, well, he's not wrong, is he? Same here, like in the UK. Like the whole lunatics have taken over the asylum thing. I'm not going to get political here, but I mean, all that QAnon Trumpy stuff and Brexit and all of that. Sorry, it is a bizarre time to be alive. There are people in the United States at the moment who genuinely believe celebrities are coming back from the dead to support Donald Trump. What? Google it, by the way. Google it. But anyway, that's enough about that. Oh, thank God Bianca isn't getting a title anytime soon. Yeah, exactly. Turn her heel. That's all I want. Make her a bad guy. She's awesome as a bad guy. Oh, Trent's not there, dude. It's Tyler Bates. Of course it is. He's a big, strong boy. Maybe he's coming to WWE, boy. I'm telling you the truth. I don't think so. Because the rumor, again, this isn't confirmed. But word on the street by those in the know is he re-signed with AEW, and this whole bidding war of 2024 thing is a gimmick. Let's just I told you I'd forget about the banner again. Let's just do a poll. You're right, Hassan. You were right to. What's going on there? One sec to refresh it. No, that's the problem. Sorry, guys. I know. Oh, yeah, Catriona, about him not being on the AEW roster. More than likely, it's a work. The idea here is MJF disappears off TV for a while. The villains crow about their victory in getting rid of him and things like that, and karma, let's be honest, karma has come for MJF somewhat as well. But the idea here with MJF is he's off TV for a while. In real life, as Misfit said, recovering from a few injuries. And then when the time is right, he strikes. He goes after everyone who's wronged him, all of the heels who are arguably worse than him at this point, like Adam Cole, like Wardlow, all these people, and one by one takes them out, works his way back to his championship. That, Samoa Joe, people like that. And not only does he then become a dangerous babyface, he also completes his redemption arc. Like I've said before, this is a soap opera. Think about how you would write the next episode, and the episode's in 6 months' time. And so am I. If you think you're seeing MJF the Royal Rumble, again, I don't know for certain, but I'm fairly confident this is a work. And AEW want you to think that he might be in the Rumble, because if WWE are going to have a big pay-per-view, you might as well be talking about their guy. See what I mean? This is incredibly clever marketing, is what this is. Removing him from the roster, the AEW roster page. They didn't do it because he's left. They've done it because he's not leaving. It does not make any sense. Exactly. Like word on the street. Well, the internet is saying he's re-signed. Let's be honest. Like, I mean, how do I say this politely? Like, lots of people who are in the know backstage at AEW are telling the world he's re-signed. It's common knowledge, but nobody knows for certain. I mean, like, I can't. I've got to be careful. There's things that there are rumors that are more than likely true, and then there are rumors that are dirt sheet BS, and we have gone past the point of dirt sheet BS with that particular rumor. If that makes any sense. Exactly. That's more than likely the plan. And I was doing a poll, wasn't I? This match would bloody be over before I've done that poll. Sorry, Hassan, here it comes. IO Sky 80% won that last one. I would have think it'd be higher than that. So, who wins? IO Sky. Oh, IO Sky. Bloody hell, Sam. Wake up. Pretty deadly. And I'm calling them British strong style for this. Because they did use that name in NXT UK in the Blackpool days. There we go. Yeah, what Misfit said. Yeah, he got hurt during the Jay White match. Here's where they make him return as the devil. It was the plan to make Samoa Joe take the champion because, yeah, exactly. He's coming for Rhodes. I promise you he's not. More than likely, I'm 99% sure MJF is going to be with AEW for a while to come. I mean, if you think about it, it doesn't make sense for him to go to WWE at this moment in time. If you think about the story that AEW is telling and where MJF is in his career, the day may come, but it's not now. Yeah, exactly. Plus, Adam Cole is recovering from his broken ankle. Sam is going for Diva Dom 2 next week on Raw. It's why Auntie's hosting. What? Oh, you're not going to see me on Raw next week? Hell no. I never want to believe MJF was leaving AEW. I don't think, I think Catriana's the only one who does. It's not happening. Again, I've got to be, I've got, I can't say it, but I'm 99% sure he's not. Yes, exactly. You don't make the bidding war of 2024 isn't a real bidding war. It's a gimmick. You know, it's part of the storyline. MJF is doing it to increase his value in storyline. There will maybe come a day where it becomes true, but it ain't going to be in 2024. I can promise you that. Soap opera. Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly. That's Mercedes Monet's gimmick now. Yeah. And I'm not being funny. Mercedes Monet, I'm at the point with Mercedes Monet now where I'm like, look, I know she was talking to WWE and now she's not talking to WWE and she's now talking to AEW again. I'm kind of sick of hearing about her talking to people. Just do something. Like, we'll talk about Mercedes Monet when she's working for somebody. Like, until then, I don't want to hear about her. It's as simple as that. You know, like I think she's amazing. I think she's great at what she does. I'm sick of hearing now about, oh, she's talking to these people. Like, wake me up when she actually arrives. That's where I am. I'm certainly re-signed when he came back. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. After All Out, when they rebooked Wembley, there's no bloody way he didn't re-sign. Exactly. Yeah, agreed. That's where I am. Like, when she turns up somewhere, my ears will prick up again. But until that happens, it's like, you know, what is one of these internet rumors that is told every year but is never ever true? You know. Anyway. Genuinely think Tyler Bate is very happy to go to SmackDown tonight. Yeah, defo. You know, guys worked hard. See, I don't know how I feel about. I think him with Pete Dunne makes sense, but does this? Someone mentioned Sheamus not being around before. Are the Brawling Brutes dead? You know. Yo, imagine him comes back. The dude Big E. Oh yeah. Oh well. Let's hope so. Again, yeah, I think Big E's still dealing with a very, very serious injury. So let's hope he's on the mend and he can come back, because I think it still might be touch and go. Although word on the street is he was doing well, so I hope so. Yeah, you don't give the world title to somebody who's leaving. Yeah, because I think the theory is, Misfit, I think the theory is they're taking it off him now almost abruptly because he's leaving. And like, no, I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. I think this is storyline. Like, they wouldn't have done this. Well, it wasn't a burial at all, but they wouldn't have done this whole, like, I'm not telling you, Misfit, I'm telling some other people. Like, they wouldn't have done this whole storyline where he's lost it that way. The whole point of this is MJF's past has come back to haunt him, and it's been his good guy turn has been a little bit too late. But the whole tragedy of this storyline with him and Adam Cole is his friendship with Adam Cole did make him a better person. It wasn't like the first time where he was pretending. Like, like MJF did grow, did change. Friendship was powerful. So the fact that, like, we always knew Adam Cole was going to betray him eventually. Like, Dom and I were waiting for it all in, when it never happened. But the idea now is he's going to lose his faith in humanity. He's now going to almost go back to the old MJF. We're going to see Stone Cold Steve Austin MJF when he comes back. He's going to take out Samoa Joe. He's going to take out Bullet Club. He's going to take out the Undisputed Kingdom. He's going to go after all of these mother truckers and go after his title. But I think the storyline needs to be him becoming the actual babyface he can be, That's what they need to do. He needs to complete his redemption arc, but he needs to go dark to do that. And disappearing from TV for a while for him to, rehab that injury that he's got makes sense as well. Love it. And I missed a few comments, so I've been rabbiting on. Right now, LA is one of my favorites. Me too. I love him. Again, for me, it's more about the star power than the matches. But me, happy with the matches too. John Cena, indeed. Then again, Tama Tonga won the Never Openweight, and he's leaving. Yeah, but he's not exactly MJF, is he? Let's be honest. I love Tama Tonga, but I don't know if we can compare the two. Not these days, at least. And I like his finisher, the BFT. I much prefer him being with Tyler than Ridge. Yeah, I know what you mean. But the question is, I know Ridge has been spending some time in NXT. What the hell did you do with Ridge in the meantime? I like the original Ridge Holland, who was this assassin for hire, who was going after Adam Cole. Do you remember that in NXT? Yeah, we need Big E back. But I don't know if he ever will. Those neck injuries are scary. I enjoyed him as champion. Yeah, it's a softly thing with Big E, isn't it? If he can come back, they're going to need to take it easy with him because that's one hell of an injury. You know, it could have, never mind end his career, that could have killed him. You know, it's really. Oof. I almost hate Rich Holland for hurting Big E. Well, you can't think like that. I've got to be very, very, very clear about that. You can't think like that in wrestling. Injuries happen. Ridge Holland wasn't, you know, like, even if there is fault to assign, everybody, the mistakes happen in that industry, and you can't, unless they've been completely reckless and stupid, you can't hold it against them. Injuries happen. Like Big E doesn't hold it against Rich Holland, so nobody else should. That's what's important. I think had MJF not got injured, Joe would have not won the title. Yeah, I thought that. I kind of thought it did feel a bit premature, didn't it? I wasn't ready for that title reign to end. I kind of like the idea of Cole menacing the champ for a while, but needs must. And let's be honest, we're going to get some great TV with Samoa Joe. I can't wait. Oh, did he? I haven't looked at Twitter in hours. Oh, here we go. Is that Ashanti the Adonis? I haven't been listening. You can in a moment, my friend. Exactly. Accidents happen. It's not like it was planned for him to purposely hurt Big E. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like we can't. If that was to happen, there'd be nobody left in wrestling because everybody gets injured eventually. And if we were to go after the people who they were involved with when they got injured, we'd soon run out of wrestlers. People get injured all the time. It's a combat sport. You know, I know it's predetermined and it's not real, and they're not real. You know, but they are. When you see someone get put through a table, yes, the table is gimmicks, but they're really going through that table. You know, like when Walter, well, Gunther as he's called these days, chops you. Yes, there's an element of protection involved, but he is chopping you. You know, like there are taking a bump is called taking a bump for a reason. It's gonna hurt. It's about you and your partner doing everything you can to mitigate the issues. So, well, the potential issues. So, no, I don't hold Ridge Holland. I imagine Ridge Holland feels terrible about that and is still probably suffering from it. And I imagine Big E doesn't blame him in the slightest because Big E is, you know, an absolute, you know, legend and isn't that way out. Oh, and here's a Jesus Styles. Kofi and Xavier are still here. They certainly are. Kofi teaming with Jey Uso was awesome as well. I love it when I love the rivalry between the New Day and the Usos, but I also love it when they're mates with each other. Does anybody remember that promo the Usos cut when they turned babyface that time after the was it the Hell in the Cell match, and the Usos were like, I was thinking, who is suffering right now like I am? Who's in this amount of pain? And then I realized the New Day probably are. And then the Usos asked the New Day to just respect their title reign and to not challenge them while they held it. And the New Day agreed out of respect for like fellow warriors. I thought that was a really great program with a really satisfying conclusion. Like, obviously, the New Day have won it since they've gone after it again. But I like the idea of them honouring the victory and be like, you know what? Yeah, you have earned it. We are going to back off for a bit. It just made all the sense in the world. It was a long time ago. But I remember thinking, this is really good because this never happens. Exactly. Yes. Sting does not blame Rollins for what happened to him. And Finn Balor didn't blame Rollins for what happened to him either. You know, the two, Rollins got injured himself shortly after. And I think in that documentary they made about Balor, the two of them are sat together rehabbing their injuries, still good mates. So yeah, exactly. Like Sting, I know he got his career back and he's retiring again at Revolution. But yeah, Sting understood. You know, he was pushing 60, and that buckle bomb, no matter how safely you do it, it's one of them moves, isn't it, that can go wrong very easily. I would have liked him to lose the title to the Devil. Yeah, well, I think Misfit's right in the sense that they had another plan and they went with this. You know, although one thing I will say after watching Dynamite is, what is with this gimmick or this idea? And it's happening a lot at the moment where a heel says, "Oh, you're going to pass me that title." And then they said the other day, Cole's like, Wardlow's going to win it and give it to me. It doesn't work like that. Why do WWE and AEW keep pretending that's how wrestling works? You can't just win a title and pass it to somebody. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make you the champion. They still are. Like, you have to formally win that in a match. And look, I know it's kayfabe and anything can happen in wrestling, but it's so like it would make sense if Cole, like, you know, if what's his name, Wardlow wins it and then lies down on the mat and Cole pins him. Like, yeah, that you could do it that way, but you can't just get a belt, pass it to somebody, and they become the champion. It doesn't work like that. It's stupid. Like, at least with the whole Christian Cage Luchasaurus gimmick, it was all about he just carried the belt while Luchasaurus was the real champion. That was smart. That was heelish. That was great. But what they said the other night on Dynamite just didn't make a lick of sense. And it just really gets on my nerves. And then NXT did it with Wesley and Dijak. Dijak kept on saying to him, "Will you give me that belt? Just pass it me." And I was like, well, even if he passes you the belt, you idiots, you're still not going to be the champ. Like, that isn't an attack on poor old Dijak. That's more an attack on the booking and whoever wrote that scene. I imagine Dijak knows that as well as anyone. But it's WWE and AEW. Stop doing that. It's just stupid. And it breaks kayfabe and it's ridiculous. Think of something better to do. Like, I'm now not looking forward to the Undisputed Kingdom story because of that throwaway comment by Adam Cole. I hope to God they do it another way. Anyway. Rollins didn't blame Kane for blowing out his knee. Exactly. These guys are pros. They know the risks. And they're not going to go after their friends when an accident happens. Also, the Devil story was never supposed to happen. AW only panics because Cole's injury. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think they needed to cough it up. It got to a point where you mentioned the Devil and you kind of rolled your eyes like, are they ever going to reveal this thing? But I don't know. I didn't see who else it could possibly be other than Cole. Because again, soap opera, dramatic sense, all of that. You know, it just made sense. And yes, it was predictable, but it was only ever going to be between about 3 or 4 different people. So it was always going to be predictable. And also, people need to stop pretending that wrestling is Shakespeare as well. Like, it wasn't a Agatha Christie who done it. It was, okay, there's only a few people this could realistically be. It's going to be one of them. And the internet is going to, like, no matter who it had been, it would have been predictable because we would have predicted it. You know what I mean? Because there's only ever a few people it made dramatic sense to be. I feel like that's the expression of the stream, isn't it? Dramatic sense. Is AJ wrestling in black khakis? I don't know if the crowd will let AJ turn heel. A tweener could work. See, I don't think he's a heel at all. And same with McIntyre. I'm on McIntyre's side completely. I am. And I think AJ's been a little bit more heelish. But I don't feel like... I know McIntyre has cemented it since then. And he is now officially a heel. But this is like Kevin Owens, when Kevin Owens was a heel for the longest time. And every point he made about like Shane McMahon and things like that, he was absolutely right about. So, yeah, I'm not taking AJ and McIntyre as the Roman Reigns level heels. As far as I'm concerned, they are disgruntled, well, not faces, but just disgruntled warriors, I suppose. Is TNA Hard to Kill pay-per-view coming up? It certainly is, Hassan, and Dom and I will be covering it right here on the Gimme a Whole Year podcast. Now, I don't know what's happening with SmackDown the night before. I'm hoping I'm going to do it, but I am getting moaned at by my wife, who doesn't want me doing, I'm saying this on stream, who doesn't want me doing 2 streams in a row because of health reasons. Now, I think I'll be all right doing double duty, so I might just need to convince her of that, but we'll wait and see. Personally, I'd like to do both and just recover the next day, go for a swim or whatever. But yeah, we will be covering Hard to Kill, 100%. I don't know what's happening with SmackDown next week, but I hate this. I feel like because of illness in recent months, I've been a bit stop-start with SmackDown, and I want to get back to it just being every week like clockwork. Like, there's always going to be times where I can't do it due to either, I don't know, family commitments or work commitments. Those things are always going to come up and happen. Like on average, once a month, I'm probably not going to be able to cover it. But I want to do more SmackDowns than I don't do. That makes sense. Right, let's do another poll, shall we? Look forward to. Oh, this is already awesome. Randy. That's my Matt Riddle impression. I love all 3 of these guys. This is going to be great. There we go. We have a poll. Knock yourselves out. The last poll of the evening. Bailey and Bianca has become the new Orton versus Cena. Yeah. I always felt Bianca Belair is a bit John Cena-y, which is probably why she's doing my head in at the moment. No, it's not her. She's great. I just got bored of her title reign. I got bored of the whole shucks babyface routine. I don't know. I'm British. We don't like traditional good guys. That's why we're always booked to be villains in movies. We're just so good at it, you know? Like, do you know what I would love to be? Because I could never, ever, ever be a wrestler. For starters, I'm too old, too small, too skinny. I'm simply not athletic enough. But I'd love to be a heel manager. Just to come down with a microphone and just be rude to a room full of people. Oh, that would be so cathartic. Even if I didn't mean a word of it, it would just be so much fun. My God, I would erupt on you all. Can't do it here because of broadcasting rules, but I would love to do it there. Diva Dom as well. Imagine making Dom a heel manager. Or Anthony would be good as well. See, I think Dan is just too lovable. I don't think Dan's just too cool and chilled out. Like, he's like the Orange Cassidy, isn't he, of the podcast? Especially when he's Hollywood Dan. Hollywood Dan is like even more laid back. Should have seen him in LA. Shall I do a banner? Okay, Randy. I can tell you're all enjoying the match because you're all quiet. And yeah, we are gonna Taylor. If you're still here, I am gonna do everything in my power, and I know he's gonna see this, and he's gonna be like, "You swine," but I am gonna do everything in my power to bring out Diva Dom at Hard to Kill. So Hassan, be there, and Hakeem, if you're out there still watching, Dom will be back. So you know what you got to do. You've got to come and join in, because nothing gets Diva Dom out like Hakeem. So Hakeem, if you're out there, come back next week. We're gonna need you. But no, I'm really excited actually for Hard to Kill. I'm really excited. TNA have, of course, I'm still here. I thought you might be. Yeah, we are defo. We're gonna bring out Diva Dom at Hard to Kill. Like if we've got it for one night only, we are having the the most entertaining version of him. I was making a new YouTube channel. Oh right, cool. Tell us more. You can plug it if you want. I don't mind. Oh, and AJ's dead. Like, hang on. Roman Reigns is in the building. We know that. I think Randy wins this, and then the Bloodline come out and attack everyone. I was thinking it could have a screwy finish, but it can't because it's a triple threat, so it's no disqualification. So there needs to be a winner. Makes sense to be Randy because I think it's going to be Randy versus Roman at the pay-per-view, isn't it? Which would be awesome. AJ and LA Knight have already had a crack at Roman, haven't they? Although I think, when was AJ? Has AJ had one, or was it a while ago? So is it going to go from Randy to The Rock, perhaps? Oh, that's awesome. See, I'm here for it. I also think that Randy wins and The Rock will save him from the Bloodline. Ooh, maybe. Well, I don't know if it's about The Rock yet. I think they're still just building with The Rock, aren't they? I think that might end up being Raw territory for a bit. But like the next Roman Reigns match is the Raw Rumble against Randy, which is what we're hearing. And if the Chamber is against The Rock, then yeah, that's pretty awesome. Is that the next pay-per-view, Chamber, after the Rumble? Or is there anything else I'm forgetting in between? Misfit, you'll know. But to be fair, even if there is anything in between, it's unlikely Roman's going to turn up, is it? So that's not a dig. It's just, I think the two, it's Chamber. All right, cool. That's all right then. Well, we're getting two pay-per-views then coming up. Oh, yeah, it's going to be... They're not going to do Fastlane, are they, this year? Because they've already bloody done it. Well, last year. You know what I mean? So we've got the Royal Rumble, Chamber. We had it, didn't we? We had it at the tail end of last year. Like, Fastlane was traditionally the pay-per-view that they had. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Fastlane used to be, it's the Fastlane to WrestleMania. It was like, it's the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. We are, tearing towards the grandest stage of them all. But then they had it as one of the last pay-per-views of last year, I believe. I forget when they had it. In fact, it was my least favorite pay-per-view all year because it just felt like there weren't enough matches on it, or the matches that were on it didn't have enough. Oh, main died. I'm still here. Oh, my stream died. Hang on. Let's bring it back. I don't know if you can see me, guys. My internet. I'm still here. I think my internet is. You went out. Am I back now? Yeah, it's weird. At 2:45, I've noticed my internet just turns off and then turns back on again like a minute later. It's weird. It's like every night. Now we see you. You're alive again. Yeah, I don't get it. It's if you go back and look at all of the SmackDown streams, it happens at just about 2:45 every time. I don't know if it's my router resets. I don't know what the hell. Right, let's put SmackDown back on. Thank you for that, internet. I missed a good chunk of that match. But we all know I'm going to rewatch it in the morning. If it ever comes back on. Come on. Oh, there we go. Right, you guys were talking, so I wonder if Bash at Berlin will be like a big pay-per-view or a glorified house show. Well, they seem to have moved away from the glorified house show era, haven't they? A little bit, like Clash at the Castle was a bit of a glorified house show in some ways, but then the more I think about it, I don't know. That's what I thought it was at the time. But now I think back, there was lots of stuff went down. Like it's where Dominic turned on Ray. It's that McIntyre match is still, the implications are happening now. So I don't know. The Saudi Arabia shows always used to be glorified house shows, didn't they? They were practically uncanon at one time. But now they seem to actually have like real stakes, real storyline implications. So I think now they're just doing, WWE are just doing more international pay-per-views now. That's just, and if they book them all as glorified house shows, nothing had ever happened these days, because let's be honest, half of them don't take place in America anymore. And as a European, us getting some in the UK, France, and Germany suits me down to a T, because I'm going to be in Berlin, and I'm going to be in for the other. Hopefully representing WrestleSphere. Also concerned how SummerSlam will be. Oh yeah, I think it'll be all right. I mean, let's not forget AEW had All In and All Out like a week later, and yes, there was some bloat, but it was all right in the end. I think this AJ is more vicious with his moves, a little more painful. Hopefully the superstars are okay with it, because it's, yeah, they'll be fine. He knows what he's doing. They know what they're doing. It's okay, kayfabe. Even if he works a little bit stiffer, they can deal with it. Heels are meant to be. If he is indeed a heel, I'm still not convinced. Oh, sorry guys, I'm getting all. It's catching up with me. I'm not gonna lie. Always does at this time, doesn't it? Do the other boys, like, I don't notice, do the other boys visibly get more tired like I do? I'm not even the oldest. I'm not the youngest either. I think Dan's the youngest. Yeah, he's more stiff. I don't know if the crowd will allow AJ to be a heel. Depends what he does, doesn't it? Like, he's already kind of sacked off his cronies, hasn't he? How's the poll doing? Let's see who's winning. Wow, Randy's winning. Wow, Randy's way in the lead. Dan doesn't show he's tired, but he definitely says it. Hey up, lads, I'm tired. That was my dad impression. Do you like that? I'll do me Dom one next week if you all turn up. I'll do a good Dom. Only when he's like really animated though. I can't do like Dom normally, but I can do him when he's I can do Diva Dom. Poor Dom. That Diva Dom thing really stuck, didn't it? It was Sassy's fault. I think Sassy came up with it. I don't know if Sassy's under the weather or anything today, but if she is, Sassy, Happy New Year. Hopefully we'll see you back next week. That'd be cool. Oh no, not Diva Dom. Diva Dom is the best. Diva Dom is. I live for Dom doing that. It cracks me up, especially that clip from last year where we're having a. I think it was us versus Wrestling Royalty versus I forgot, Rebellious Noise. And Dom is like shouting at me for something, and it was really funny. Me and Andy Spores were watching it back and giggling. Speaking of Wrestling Royalty, go and subscribe to, again, if you like what we do, go and subscribe to Wrestling Royalty. If you type in Andy Spores on YouTube, you'll bring it up. So go and follow that. Andy recently got to over 100 subscribers. But let's try and catch him up to our 2,000. Let's do that. So let's help him get there. You can also subscribe to his Roller Coaster of Running channel that he has, which is kind of him charting him running around Florida and Newcastle. It's if you're into like you running and your fitness, it's fascinating. So go and have a little look at that. And obviously, I'm going to plug WrestleSphere while I'm here. If you want to see guys from the Gimme a Whole Year podcast interview people from WWE, AEW, TNA, and beyond, then get over to WrestleSphere on YouTube. And if you could follow us on Facebook and Twitter, we'd appreciate that as well, because we're doing really well on YouTube, but not so much on the social media channels. So it's progress is slow. But yeah, and again, you can follow, if you don't subscribe to Give Me a Whole Year, subscribe to us here. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I think we're on Instagram as well. There's also the memberships that you can join up. I know we've got some slides for it, but I'm too tired to go and find them. But yeah, you can join the channel and get some cool perks. So go have a look. No. Well, the referee's dead. Well, I didn't mean the Bailey Bianca thing in a good way. Oh, good. My stream's come back alive. Yeah, you guys are funny. The match is great. Yeah, we try. We've certainly had some funny moments. Like maybe one day we'll tell you about Denny's. Uh-oh. Here he comes. That is bleeding. Get ready for a terrible ending to this match. But what can they do, though? It's a triple threat. Like, they can't just throw it out. Unless we're going to get like a fatal four-way at the Royal. Oh my God, are we going to get a fatal four-way at the Royal Rumble? No, because they've already given 3/4 of the match away, haven't they? Okay, oh baby. WWE is less strict about blood lately. Have you noticed that? Yeah, I'm all right with it. I don't want it to get to Swerve Strickland versus Adam Page levels of blood, but a little bit now and then, kind of, See, I'm not sure, Misfit. I'm not sure if I hate this or love it. I don't know. I'm indecisive. Rumble will be a fatal four-way. Wouldn't be against that. I don't know if I would be. I don't know. Do we want that? Here we go. They injure everyone and the match never ends. Yeah, but for the match to end, though, somebody they could throw it out, couldn't they? But somebody needs to get the pinfall for it to end, unless they throw it out, which they could do. So presumably the story here is Roman just doesn't want to defend at the Royal Rumble, but you got to anyway. Like, I don't know if the blood was intentional. Oh, Aldis is here. It certainly was with Becky Lynch, because they were deliberately mirroring the Nia Jax, the famous Nia Jax moment, weren't they? Yeah, you want The Rock to show up. I don't know, he might at this point. Although usually this is when Cody turns up, isn't it? Who else normally turns up? LA Knight and Randy, but they're already here. Sami Zayn usually turns up, doesn't he? Sami Zayn and Cody sometimes turn up to ruin Roman's day. Nice spear. Picture perfect, that Roman. Gives Roman a way to lose the championship without being made to look weak. He ain't losing it at the Rumble. But this told me that Rock Roman is to happen at the Chamber. Otherwise, why do the 4-way? Exactly, yeah. I've heard the same thing. So they can still do the Fatal 4-way now. Well, at the Rumble. And then do the Rocket Elimination Chamber. They could still do that. But let's be honest, the Royal Rumble is a way off yet. So a lot of storyline can happen between now and then. It could still just be Randy versus Roman. Yeah, not a sniff would Roman lose it in a 4-way. I tell you where Roman's losing it, guys. I'll bet my car on it. He's losing it at WrestleMania this year against Cody Rhodes. So has the match been thrown out or what? It must have been. So presumably this will be resolved next week. Well, that's how you make TV. Yeah, Misfit, you were right. Screwy finish. Yeah. So I predicted it as well, and I even thought that they can't do it because it's a fatal. It's a 3-way, and yeah, they still did it. What are the odds? Wow. Yeah, if Roman stops all three of them from winning, he has to fight The Rock. Yeah, but that's a Chamber. Got the Rumble to go first. GM better grow some balls. Probably going to be a fatal 4-way. Damn you, Australia. Wanting The Rock versus Elimination Chamber. Don't hear an ending bell. It means there'll be a match that never ends. We'll go on for all eternity. Well, we've had a few of them in the past. There's a few still going on. I think there's a Royal Rumble still going on somewhere. So congratulations, he's just earned himself a fatal 4-way match at the Rumble, is what Aldi said. Right, so I didn't hear him. Right, boom. Yeah, right, okay. Look, to be fair to Lil Nate, there's not a lot he can do at that point. It's like, you know what, I'm out. Yeah, so now it is officially a fatal 4-way. See, we haven't had many multi-man matches, though, in Roman's title reign. Obviously, famously, we had Bryan Danielson and Edge. Is he going to be able to stack these three dudes, though? Well, it got thrown out. We can assume it got thrown out by the manager coming out and getting annoyed. So, wow. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be a one-on-one with Roman. Like, we already know about Elimination Chamber, but they swerved us a bit there. Oh, yeah, Nick Aldis is wicked. Fatal 4-way will be great. Roman will win. Obviously, yeah. Hopefully The Rock comes out at the end and hits him with a rock bottom. Does this kill all the momentum they're trying to build for AJ? No, because they're gonna like all go after each other, aren't they, now until the Rumble? Yeah, that's a good point. Not observing, in a way, they all kind of won, didn't they? Because Roman and his cronies ruined the match. I say that I feel it's definitely stacking every single one of them top, pinning them to end the match. See, it just feels a bit unrealistic. You know, I don't know. That's just me. Yeah, overall, it was a good show. It was a decent SmackDown. I knew it was going to be pretty. It was stacked, wasn't it? That was not a pun intended about what Roman Reigns is going to do. But yeah, that was a stacked show. It was good. Because I wasn't really like, there's some good stuff on Raw, but well, you know my thoughts on the Jinder Rock promo. I think I could have gone and made a snack in the time that it was happening. But then, and I feel like I've seen that before. I don't know. It's just me. I think they can do better. That's all. Next Friday will be interesting, and CM Punk's back on Raw. So yeah, so some cool stuff coming up. I have to admit. Performer of the night, we've got Amir Yin. Yeah. Will The Rock come out and beat up all 4 of the Bloodline by himself? At some point, they've got to start factoring Cody in, don't they? Match of the night, Santos and KO. Yeah. The Baywatch thing surprised me, actually, because I didn't... What did it flop, Baywatch? I didn't know that. I actually thought it had been successful, so there you go. Anyway, guys, so thank you for joining me tonight. It's been good. It's been emotional. It was a good SmackDown show. That it's nice to be back as well. I was really looking forward to tonight. It feels nice to get back to normal. You know, I'm always happy for Christmas and the holidays and things like that, but I'm also happy then to see the back of it for a year. Was it a trash ending though? I don't know if it was a very WWE, wasn't it? It was no one's up. Well, I know I certainly didn't. I don't think I would have been able to get Jess to go and see that, and I don't think she would have been especially happy if I had gone to see that. But yeah, I don't like. It was a very WWE screwy finish, but I don't know if I'm against it. If it leads to a banger at the Royal Rumble and a multi-man match with Roman Reigns, I don't know. We've seen for a while, and I feel like maybe they're aware that the classic Roman Reigns match is something we've seen a lot now. So maybe this is a nice way of just kind of mixing it up before, because if they mix it up here, then he has what he's going to have with The Rock, which is special enough on its own because it's The Rock in Australia. Then really that takes us all the way up to Mania. So I think they're working hard to not give us the standard formulaic Roman Reigns match, which is something I love. But again, I have to admit now, we have seen that same match a few times with Sammy, with LA Knight, with Cody, with Drew, with whoever else. We won't talk about the Finn Balor one where the rope just spontaneously broke. What the hell was that about? But anyway, SmackDown was focused on in-ring action. Yeah, I like it. When it's storyline heavy, good storylines, and in-ring action, I'm a happy bunny. It works for the story moving forward, and with Roman Reigns. If Roman wins at Mania, I might start watching. I'm not going to lie. He just can't. Jesus, he just can't. It's a shame as well because, like, I really want to see Balor have a good go because I love. Everybody knows I'm a big Balor stan. So yeah, I'm still furious about that. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. I need to go to bed because I'm absolutely dying. That caffeine is completely worn off. 3 a.m. here. Yeah, again, let's kill that banner. Randy won the poll. Didn't win the match. Well. But yeah, cheers, guys. We'll see you soon. Dan will be back on Monday, I believe. Anthony will be back on Wednesday. I should be back on Friday, but I think I'm doing double duty because I'm then back for TNA Hard to Kill. And let's hope so. And peace out. Have a good weekend, man. I'm going to go and have a big sleep and play some video games and go to the gym tomorrow. It's going to be ace. All right, then, guys. Let's see who's going to play us out. Who's it going to be? Let me look. Oh, it's got to be because we talked about him. See you soon.
This is Big E from the new day. Give me that whole yeah. Give it to me. I need it.